Greetings, Internet. My voice still not back yet, but welcome to another edition of the Play Some Video Games podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Delvin Cox, and with me is the man, the myth, the legend, the Kirby enthusiast, Mr. Donnie Eat the Hype Reach. How you doing, brother?
Doing pretty good. Pretty good. No complaints.
Good.
How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. Remember when we were talking about last week about ridiculous things that we purchased in video game purchases?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. I bought the most ridiculous thing I could possibly buy.
What's that?
You ever seen those? I don't even want to admit to it because you're gonna clown me and it's gonna be more funnier. You ever seen those attachments, the laptops that give you the 3 monitor screens?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I bought one.
Okay.
Why did I buy one?
The girl at my work has one of those.
I don't know why I bought one.
I wouldn't laugh at you because my work is such that like I have to have multiple screens.
I don't have to have multiple screens. I just bought one. I'm like,
you just did it just because?
Just because. It was like, it's $70.
And everybody out here bitching about Mario Kart World being $80.
Yeah, I got 3 fucking screens here. I'm like, I feel like a fucking...
The Matrix.
A hacker.
Right.
Just looking at multiple screens.
By godly, I'm a hacker.
Got the notes over here. I ain't got nothing here. I probably should have porn here.
That's my daily life. I mean, that's why I use a TV as a monitor, because multitasking multiple windows and things, it's like that's every second for me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got it in the mail. When it came in, I said, Delvin, come over and set this up, boy. Daddy ain't doing this shit. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. They're pretty cool if you don't
so
mind
far.
carrying it around.
I'm not carrying this.
Yeah, I don't do that either.
This is going to sit right where it's at. I'm not touching this motherfucker.
I basically, like, when I'm on the move, I have, like, a limited working. Like, I just carry my laptop and my Chromebook, and it's like, you'll get the most out of me that I can give you on one screen. But in the event that, like, actual stuff goes down, then I have to get to a computer. You know, it's like, well, then I either have to get to my office or our EOC or to my desk, you know, because I can't work off of just the one screen.
I have worked off the one screen for 90% of my life. And now I'm working off of 3 screens, and it's so weird. I'm like,
we're here for you, Riley. Yes, yeah, Deb's not being here, which, like, I was going to take the week off. Was thinking about it. Just had so many podcasts this month. I was like, I could probably just use one off. And every time I think that, you or Dev always calls out. Like, every time I think about it, it's like, yeah, I'm not going to be there. And I never pull the trigger because in my head I'm like, I can't do that. I can't do that to Dev.
You'll be fine.
And in Dev's head, he's like, fuck them. I'm not podcasting this week.
I think I've done a couple episodes, not by myself, but with some of the replacement killers. It's fine.
Yeah. But because Dev's not here, we have the opportunity to record early.
Yes, thank God.
There's not a whole lot going on, like news and whatnot anyway. So I hope this is a nice, concise episode.
Typical regular news week, you know. People getting fired. It's just common in video games, unfortunately.
Pretty much. Yeah, not much more to it than that.
Yeah. Are you going to watch the Borderlands, 4 Direct or whatever it is?
God, no.
Why is that a thing?
I mean, I guess Borderlands is super popular.
Is it still that popular?
Like, it's one of those giant live service games, like Destiny and Fortnite. It's one of those. Overwatch.
I can't think of a game that deserves less state of the play. Maybe I'm wrong. I might be wrong on this one. Like, all right. Y'all get like Ghost of Tsushima can't get a state of play, but fucking Borderlands.
Well, that's on you guys. That's on your you go talk to Hiroki Tataki.
I'm not talking to that.
I imagine that comes down to just dollar and cents. I imagine 2K is like, hey, we want to promote our game. How about you let us put a video on your YouTube channel and we'll give you $1 million? You know.
Oh, they could have given me $1 million.
I think that's how that works out.
That makes sense then.
Otherwise, I don't know why else. Because it looks like, again, not being the PlayStation person, I may be completely incorrect on this. But from afar, it looks like that's what PlayStation reserves their marketing time towards. Third-party partners. That it to me it seems like pay for the privilege of having PlayStation say their name.
It kind of seems silly at this point when you really think about it now, at least, because there is no Xbox.
Well, I didn't even think that mattered. Like, that's not even that's irrelevant. That's not even connected.
There is no exclusivity now.
You just look at what the PlayStation Directs, showcases, whatever we're calling them now. Just look at what they've been for 4 years, and it's largely, not always, but largely a collection of third-party partners. It's marketing. It's marketing for third-party partners.
Yeah,
that's why, I don't even take notice anymore when PlayStation's like, we have a showcase or I'm like, yeah, I get it. Like you're gonna show me the same thing YouTube shows me.
That's the thing. It just feels like it's show. Okay, I've just seen this is what everybody else is gonna show because it used to mean something when it was like, okay,
right, correct.
Street Fighter's PlayStation exclusive for like 6 months, so this game is PlayStation exclusive now. Like, oh, Borderlands going everywhere.
They don't do that anymore, so it's Borderlands, it's Pacific Drive, it's stuff like that, and it's like, okay.
This game is going everywhere. So why do
I'll see it whenever the trailer that I'm interested in pops into my feed, but I don't need to stop my day to watch the event for that. And listen, I'm being somewhat harsh because I've never been into Borderlands. Like I've wanted to be. I love the art. I love the art style, but I don't like the core gameplay loop.
It's fine.
So I don't really care. I have, and if you're wondering, I have no notes about the Borderlands state of play. I don't even know what. I just know it happened today, but I don't even know what happened.
This is the notes.
Listen, like I know Haley loves Borderlands, so I wish her, and I guess Josh loves it too. I wish them well. I hope they love Borderlands. Was it 5, 4, 3?
It's 4.
4. I wish them well.
Yes. Y'all, if y'all want to record some of my Borderlands, have at it. I won't be there.
But 'tis not this day.
Not me. This is not Switch stopping news.
No, definitely not.
This is not Delvin calls in on his job.
I am far more interested in Welcome Tour for Nintendo Switch 2 than I am in Borderlands.
Yeah,
and people are mad that is $10.
Yeah, you might be right.
So,
Welcome Tour at least is something different. They killed off Half Team Jack, and I'm like, I don't care anymore.
Yeah, I don't even know who that is.
He's a guy named Jack who's handsome.
Yeah, no, I get it. I've heard it for years, but I don't know anything about it. I didn't do I tried playing the Telltale game, and it wasn't driving with that.
That's a good game. I enjoyed that game a lot.
I don't get down with Borderlands. I don't fuck with Borderlands.
Yeah.
As T would say.
Don't fuck with it.
Yep, I don't fuck with it, man.
So have you been playing any other games? Good games, shall I say?
Certainly. Yeah, absolutely I have. First and foremost, my Clock Tower Collector's Edition arrived finally after I don't know, year? I have no idea when I ordered that game.
It's been like a year.
But it finally arrived. So this week, when my wife and I have been watching TV, I've been playing that on the couch. So I've completed the base run, like the ending A of the game.
Okay.
I don't even know how many. There's a bajillion endings, but I did the base run, and had a blast. It's super easy. I don't want to say it's super easy. It's somewhat procedural, so it actually does take some trial and error to get it going. But enjoyed it quite a bit. I've been waiting forever.
It's one of those games you miss one thing, it fucks up like your whole run.
Yeah, correct. Now this is what scares me about this game right now. Not to turn everything into this, I swear I'm not going to. But in the future that we seemingly have ahead of us on Switch is I'm wondering how much like this Clock Tower experience is going to be like my new normal experience moving forward. And by that I mean, I don't think physicals are going away, but I do think they'll become increasingly more like boutique and premium options. And like we'll get games that are announced and released only for them later to get physical runs.
Correct.
So, like, am I just buying games twice for no reason? Or am I waiting? Like, if another game gets announced, like, if I'm not immediate day one have to have it, I think I'm probably, like, waiting on it for a minute just to see if it gets a physical.
Yeah, waiting an extra 6 months maybe.
Like, I know these publishers won't do us the service of telling us because they'll want us to buy it twice. But it would be nice if moving forward, if we are going to get limited physical runs of these games through these different retail shops, it would be nice if they told us that when the game launches, so we could like choose the best place to buy that game. You know, I don't know if they're going to do that.
I would like they would do that, but I know they're
but
not.
It would be nice if they're not going to do that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm already in that headspace where I'm like, all right, big third-party game comes to Switch. Like, am I going to buy it digitally, or am I going to wait to see if a physical copy comes? You know, I don't know what that game will be at the moment, but I think on a game-by-game basis, I will have that in my head.
That kind of sucks.
It does. Yeah, I'm not happy about it by any means.
Yeah.
Because, like, I'm going to wait, like, a year to play a game after everybody's done played it and talked about it and it's boring, and then, like, what if it doesn't even get one? Right.
I agree, Bradley. They should just release all physical day one, but they're not going to do that.
Because I'm going to be pissed off when I buy, whatever indie game comes out only for it to get, like Death's Door. Let's say Death's Door 2. Like, I'm going to buy Death's Door 2 only for it to get a physical run. Now I got to buy it again if I want a physical copy. That's where my head is already at. So,
yeah.
Sorry to take the pod there, but that's just kind of where my mind is this week on kind of most things gaming. Outside of Clock Tower, I played Schedule 1.
Which one is that?
That is the drug dealer.
That's the one you're telling me about.
The drug dealer sim. Yeah. So one of the podcasts I listen to, it's a really nice podcast, YouTube channels I watch. He's been playing it. One of their contributors is playing it. And it sounded really fun. It's about a month ago or so. It sounded really fun, so I put it on my wish list. And then yesterday I got an alert that there was a demo. And I don't think the demo's new. I think I just saw the alert yesterday that there was a demo. So I wanted to sit down and play the demo. Have you seen or heard of this game?
I saw from what you showed me. That's all I saw.
So it's a survival craft game where you're going to be breaking things down like to their elements to like earn cash, and then you turn that into like supplies that you then use to like make drugs. Then you then have to sell the drugs, and you turn that money into a bigger space so you can make more drugs and sell more drugs, and you start building a network and everything. Just like, I don't want to say like all these other games, but very similar to like these other like crafting sim games that we've seen. The shtick or the sell with this one is that it's all about drug dealer. So if you're like into Breaking Bad and stuff, like you are growing weed, clipping weed, bagging weed, going and selling weed, getting people to sell the weed for you. But it's way deeper than you would ever expect. Like it's not, when you see a game like this, often I look at something like this and I'm like, okay, is this just like a meme game? Is it just popular because it's like drugs and you get a few clips of drugs? But like you get into the game and the game is like surprisingly deep. So like certain customers have like certain kinds of highs and weeds and stuff that they want, or meth. You can get into harder drugs than just weed. So like, and there's like, there's even poverty levels, Delvin. So like there's customers that will buy your low end shit, and then there's customers that have like a higher palate. They only want the best shit. And you have to like schedule how you're doing that and how you drop the money. All the while, like the cops are driving around town and they may see you do something suspicious, and like they may come and check you, they may frisk you. And if you have paraphernalia on you, you'll go to jail. If they catch you dealing or something, you'll go to jail. If you talk to the wrong people, you'll go to jail. So they're all like always trying to build a case against you and stuff like that. It's super fun. I played the demo because I was like, this sounds like something I'm into. I've talked about it for a long time. I oddly have like a weird fascination for these sorts of games. It's not ready for Steam Deck though. It's at the moment, it's still very much a mouse driven PC game. I played it on Steam Deck, and like you can get through it on Steam Deck. All the controls are there. You'll just have to guess around with like what button goes where and stuff, because it's not built into the game. It's not built into the overlay. Like it's not ready for like deck portable play, like, on the go. It's still kind of a mouse and keyboard game at the moment.
IGN gave it an 8 out of 10, and as of right now, Steam says it's a 10 out of 10 ratings.
It's like I said, it's super addictive. I played it all night long. Had a lot of fun with the demo. So if you hear it and you're interested in it, like go play the demo. I'm absolutely going to buy it, but I will wait for it to be like ready prime time for controller. Like once it's like, I'm not sure if it's in beta or whatnot. Once it's ready for that, then I'm immediately going to buy it day one and really get into it.
Yeah,
I don't want to get into it right now because it's like I said, it's still very mouse dominant at the moment. But if you don't mind, you play games on PC, I can't recommend it enough. It's very unique. Like obviously with the drugs and stuff, you'd think it's very like edgy or it's very like, I don't know, like trendy. Like I saw this game on TikTok even. My son has seen it. My son was like, "Oh, you're playing that game? My friends play that game." So it's very, I guess it's somewhat like in vogue.
Yeah.
But it, like I said, it's the reason it's in vogue is more than its taboo nature. It's a really good game. It has really deep systems, and like the economy gets crazy. I started watching a couple YouTube videos, and there's a person that's played this game for like 300 hours. He has multiple factories and like a network of dealers and everything that's going. Like, so you go full blown Kingpin Godfather on this damn thing if you want. Full blown Tony Montana if you want.
This looks like it might be like GTA if the game only focused on drug dealing.
Yeah, like I said, and it's deep. And it's that sim aspect of it is fun, and it's fun in the right way. Like the game is very logical. So like you kind of like I was experimenting. It's like, can I do that? And it's like, yeah, you can. And you're like, oh shit. Like it will let you figure that out. And I do wonder about the motifs, the themes of the game. Like I guess you've got kids out here like literally growing plants, cutting bud, watering seeds, like doing all that shit.
Does the game actually show you how to
Yes.
make drugs?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's like that Master P song.
Yes. Yeah. That's why I tagged you. Like I honestly
That is
thought
wild.
of all the people that would have known about this, like I'm surprised that I'm bringing this game to you versus you bringing this game to us.
Yes.
This sounds like some shit you would have got in on like on the ground floor 6 months ago.
It's funny because the same day you showed me this game, there's already a clone on PlayStation 5.
Is that the drug dealer simulator?
Yeah, something like that.
So the guy that I listened to that plays this one, he says that that's a really terrible clone, and it's like
Yes.
it's not nearly as good.
That's a
Like
that's a
Schedule 1 is an actual good game.
That's the thing that they're doing now on PlayStation. So people be
yeah,
aware
it's
of
a
this.
thing on Switch too. Like it's
They're
a
like,
whole.
people will see a game that blows up on Steam,
Yep.
make a bad copy of it, and
I'm
sell
not mad
it like
at him. It's kind of
like
smart.
it's that game.
Like I hate the. Obviously, I hate the copying of somebody's work, the plagiarism of it all. I'm not condoning it by any means, but understanding like how the system works is a smart way to try and get money and try to get noticed, right?
Yeah.
Especially if the game doesn't exist on another platform, to try and build some similarity of it. It's a real problem on Switch. Nintendo, these publishers have just got to lock that down. They've got to figure out. They got to have like some sort of reporting system through the developer portal or something where developers can, because right now we've only really seen people take action like when it trends on Twitter, and we got to get away from that. We got to formalize that somehow.
Yeah, because that's bad. Like people are getting manipulated and thinking this is one thing and it's not that at all.
Exactly.
Kind of.
Especially if you're on a digital platform where you're not really doing refunds and self-service, and it's a mess. So
Sony doesn't give you your money back, so you're fucked.
Sony's I think been the best of it. They've been delisting a lot of games. I think Nintendo has too, but they've got to find a way to, I guess, I don't want to say automate it because everything needs to be under review, but formalize that process.
Yeah,
Give
streamline
developers tools to report those sorts of things.
This game looks really good though. Schedule 1 looks actually excellent.
Wholly recommend it. Like, honestly, if I played it more, like if I bought the game and actually dove into it and played it, like in my head, like I jokingly tweeted like game of the year, but like for me, yeah, it might be because I haven't played a lot of games, and this game is surprisingly deep. The fact that you have to like cater your orders and everything to every customer and try to remember them and all that shit's like really deep. You start writing shit down. I'm like, oh shit, what is Kathy like?
Riley.
She needs that. What does she need? That purple kush? Like, oh shit, I don't have any. Like, like it's a lot deeper than you think. A lot deeper than it looks in screenshots. You look at screenshots like some South Park looking nonsense, some Parappa the Rapper stuff. It's it's a lot. There's a lot more to it than that.
And can you create your own character?
There's there's like a little Wii avatar creator, and there's not a lot of options. Don't get too excited. There's like 5 or 6 options. I think half of them are male, half of them are female.
Yeah, because I looked and one of them looks like Heisenberg. I was like, oh, you can make your own Heisenberg.
Yeah, and there's like a little world to explore. There's like you'll go to the different stores, you'll meet the different owners, and all the different. I tried selling to the person that runs the snack shack. And they immediately called the cops on me. So I had to like run. I was like, this motherfucker, I thought you were down.
Snitch.
Come on, man. You sell fries. Like So
That is cool. That's awesome.
I like it. What about you, man? You up to anything?
No, not really. I played a little bit of Expedition 33, but not enough to talk about it like a lot, you know. I got to the point where somebody died, like, okay, I guess this is the start of the game.
That's the hotness. That and Blueprints is the hotness.
Yeah, I still don't know what the fuck Blueprints is. I'm like, I keep hearing people talk about it. Like, that Jay-Z album? Like, no, it's like a game. Like, okay.
You're still doing the Jay-Z thing.
It's a great album. It's one of his best albums.
Stop trying to make fetch happen, okay? It's not going to happen.
Everybody knows that Jay-Z album.
The Giant Bomb Squad, they love Blueprints. It's all Jeff and Mike's been talking about for like weeks. They fucking love that game.
Let me look this up real quick.
Not a game for me. I'm sure, just like Balatro, I'll try it on Switch, and I'll probably try it and tell you why I don't like it, because I'm fairly certain that that's not a game for me.
I guess it's one of those things like every
Who
year
knows?
there's
Maybe
a game
it'll surprise
like,
me one day.
like Blueprints or Balatro that everybody just falls in love with.
It very much is that. Yeah, it's very much that indie darling.
Riley knows what I'm talking about. The 9/11 album. That's correct.
Now, Claire Obscura, that's like the legit hotness. Everybody's
Yes, people love
infatuated with that thing. Yeah.
I don't think you'll like it.
No.
Not
They
even
lost-
a little bit.
They lost me at turn-based when people are like, it's like Final Fantasy. I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah, that's why I said you would not like this at all.
Yeah, I'm out from the elevator pitch, so I wasn't that interested to begin with.
Yes, the Blueprint came out on 9/11, along with Fabulous.
The album, guys, not the
album.
game.
Not the game. I'm trying to think what else came out now. Did we do this exercise before?
What, you trying to figure out what came out on 9/11? Why?
Yeah.
Why are you trying to figure that out?
You ever heard of this? There's like a list of things that came out and happened on 9/11. It's like a big deal. Like albums that
Why
came out.
is it a big deal?
Because of Blueprint's like a classic hip hop album. There's like certain things that's happened on that day. And everybody always goes back to like, oh, this also happened on that day.
Huh. Yeah, no, I've never given any thought.
Interesting.
No disrespect to Blueprints, but like more or less only one thing happened that day. Like everything else happened the day before, the day after, or whenever I figured it out.
I know why I wanted to mention it to you. Because of 9/12. Because of what happened on 9/11, there were albums and songs banned on 9/12 that they couldn't play on radio stations.
Huh. Interesting.
There's a whole list of it. Like I think "We Built This City" was one of them. It was a bunch of songs like
Why couldn't you
Rocket
play that? I mean,
Man.
people still play that.
Yeah, but they couldn't play them on radio stations for a while because they were banned because of 9/11.
They just thought it was
inappropriate.
Okay, I got you.
Let me see if I can find the list.
That's pretty lame. You don't have to create a list. You could just not play them. But whatever.
Okay. I found them. I found some of them. "Walk Like an Egyptian," "Falling for the First Time," "Boy from New York City," "Safe in New York," "Smooth Criminal."
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's nonsense. You can't play Michael Jackson because of the stairs attack. That's stupid.
Yes. It was 164 songs that were banned in total. I highly recommend people check it out. It's a pretty interesting list of songs that were banned like right after 9/11 that they couldn't play on the radios anymore. "Highway to Hell," Alice in Chains' "Rooster," Alanis Morissette, "Ironic."
That's dumb.
Yeah.
That's dumb.
That's what we were doing at that time.
All right. So besides
Yeah,
Claire
besides that.
Obscura,
Yeah, I haven't really been doing much because I'm finally like recovering from dying.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just like,
Delvin is
I-
beginning to return.
like
of Doc.
finally getting back to normal. Like finally getting my voice back. Like even yesterday. No, that was the day before yesterday. I had like a massive headache. So like, oh, I guess I'm not doing nothing today. I went to work, came home, said, fuck this.
I was at the hospital all day yesterday.
Oh yeah, I saw. You
My
want to
wife
tell that
fell
story?
and broke her toes. She broke her toes. She fell down the stairs.
Couldn't even fall in no place where you can get.
Like I was sitting here playing games and I just heard this crash and I go to open the door and she's like at the bottom of the stairs, arms or feet in the air. I was like, what the fuck just happened? She's like, I fell. The funny thing, she was like, it's slippery, there's water. And there was no water. There was nothing to be found. I was like, there's no evidence. What are you trying to blame this on? Like, you're the killer.
Like,
we
babe,
caught you.
You supposed to do this shit like at Walmart, not at home.
So I had to
There's
take her
water
and
over there, man. We just
shot it
water
up
over
and
there.
splint it up and all of that jazz. So that was my whole day yesterday.
What you should have did was you should have picked her up,
Carried her over to the store.
dragged her to a Walmart and just threw her on the floor.
Riley, it's not been fun. As I said, like I raised all these funds for Switch and then fucking broken toes, broken tires, broken dad.
And
Like
she's fucking it up.
I'm just spending money left and right this damn week on not things that I want to be spending it on.
Yes. He saved all his hard-earned money and they're just
That's why you
fucking
don't
it up.
save.
Yeah.
Because
just
you
don't
save it long enough, you're just going to have to use it on some shit you don't want to use it on.
Yep. Or the government will take it.
Pretty much.
So
Better burn it while you got it.
burn it while you got it. We only got one life to live. Fuck it. Come to Canada to get your health care.
I wish.
I don't think y'all gonna allow us over there anymore after what's going on down here.
Thanks.
They're gonna do the opposite. They're gonna have us deported. Like, nope, you gotta go back. Please let us stay. Nope.
You don't want you kind here. Like, oh damn.
So we got some video game news. We have to get to this.
What a show. Yeah, I got some news. Not a bunch, but I got some. In awful news, there's a bunch of turnover at EA, as EA has cut at least 300 jobs. At one point, Jeff said it could be up towards 1,000. I think people are settling somewhere between 300 and 600. It's still loose because they're saying they're moving people, so nobody really knows like what's lost job versus. And again, as I've talked about all the time, every time they talk about moving people, like we hear the news the day it gets reported. Jason Schreier says 300 jobs, but like if you wait a year, a lot of those people that get moved don't fit. They don't stay. Right. So it's usually more.
And some of those jobs are temporary jobs.
Correct.
Yes.
So lots of people are being let go or moved around, as EA says they're making select changes at the company. This involves canceling a number of in-development projects, one said to be included in a game set in the Titanfall universe. I say Titanfall universe because it's being reported it's a Titanfall game where it might borrow like IP or characters or whatever from Titanfall or Apex, but it's being pitched as an extraction shooter.
Nope.
A multiplayer extraction shooter. So I'm not going to call that a Titanfall 3 because that's not Titanfall 3. That's an extraction shooter. But yeah, so this was being led by Steve Fukuda, who led Titanfall 1 and 2. So that project's just done now. It's just cut. Don't just give it up. It's over. They stay killing Titanfall. EA is just
over and over again.
Over and over again. Jason Schreier said this between 300 and 400 have been eliminated. 100 of those cuts were said to be made at Apex Legends and Star Wars studio Respawn Entertainment. And then today, Codemasters announced that they're officially done making rally titles. So there'll be no more World Rally Championships or dirt games.
Wow.
From Codemasters. So it sounds
They've
like
been making dirt for a while.
Just F1. Sounds like we're just gonna get F1 from now on from Codemasters.
That's
maybe Grid. Don't they do Grid?
Yeah, I think they do Grid. I like Grid.
So I like Dirt. Dirt's really good. It's a really good game. So
this is my fault for not playing Dirt.
Should be, more of the same news out of the video game industry.
Yeah. Usually around this time, I don't know if you probably remember this. This is usually around the time of year, and I'm thankful they don't do this anymore. Where WWE used to do their cuts.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Black Friday.
Yeah, they usually they seem to stop doing that now. Thank goodness, but yeah.
Yeah, they've been on a hiring spree of sorts.
Yeah, they're buying companies.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get this. But yeah. Video game industry's not the same. Unfortunately, they're letting people go.
Yep. PlayStation Plus games for May include Warhammer 40,000 Bolt Gun, which I highly recommend. That game is awesome. Ark Survival Evolved, which I don't recommend at all,
Nope.
and Balatro. Just in
Okay.
time to get you off of that Blue Prince fix.
I
And
thought
play
they
more
gave this
Balatro.
away. I thought they gave Balatro away for free already, but I guess they didn't.
Mm-mm.
Well,
They
there
did
you
on
go.
They did on Apple Arcade.
Okay, that's what it was.
My buddy who's into the iRacing and stuff, he loves this shit. He loves Balatro. He loves Blueprints. It's so funny because he's always at. These are the only games he asked me about. So like just yesterday, I got a text. He's like, "What do you think of Blueprints?" I was like, "Dude, I'm not the guy for this."
I'm not that.
Like, yeah, like you're asking, like, find a different expert, man. Like, I'm not the droid you're searching for. I think he asked me about Clair Obscura too. He's like, "What do you think about Clair Obscura?" I was like, "Not playing it. I have zero thoughts." He's like, "What? It's like the best game." I'm like, "I
It's
don't
a game.
care." Stephen A., listen, we don't care. So, Borderlands 4 State of Play happened today, at some time today. The release date has been moved up from September 23rd to the 12th. And right before we went live, I saw a headline that said that there's 20 minutes of gameplay out there. So if you're needing that Borderlands fix, it's out there for you. Please be excited come September.
Spoilers, we didn't watch it.
I didn't watch not one side. I
Not
have no
even
idea.
one drop of it.
Could be the greatest game ever. I have no idea. Could be Gliders. Could be Breath of the Wild. I have no idea. Didn't look.
No, didn't even bother looking.
So, 8-Bit Dough is no longer shipping products to the U.S. from China due to the tariffs.
God damn it.
I do not know. I tried to find out, but I do not know what this means for any of those folks that had the N64 controller pre-ordered, because Analog is making the system, but remember that 8-Bit Dough is actually making the controller. The system doesn't come with a controller. So a lot of our friends, namely Yarden and Rob and Josh, I think they all got one of these controllers. I have no idea if that means they'll come out on time or not.
That sucks. Have you seen the thing? Well, this is the Black Twitter thing, but I'll include you in on it.
I think that's like what Twitter is now. Twitter is just Black Twitter.
Well, it's Black Twitter and alt-right Twitter, but that's
It's just a tabloid. It's just a tabloid.
They're just fighting for control. Black
Yeah.
Twitter and alt-right Twitter.
Control of the fake universe.
Yes.
That's nonsense.
Yes, that's what it is now. But people are mad because they know the website Shein that sells all the women clothes and things like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They're starting to see the tariffs affect their prices on it. They are furious. They're like, this shit used to cost me like $10. Now it's like $40. Like, well,
Correct.
no. Yeah, they're
Yep.
like, yeah, that's how tariffs work.
That's how tariffs work.
They're like, fuck this president.
Yeah,
Like,
people are starting to realize the error of their ways.
Like, you wasn't like fucking before? This is when you're like, this is my bridge to die on. My
Riley
TV
King.
order went up.
Black Twitter is a slang term used to describe a section of Twitter that talk specifically about black culture
Correct.
and racial divides and stuff like that.
Yes. Black
Who's
jokes.
invited to the cookout? Those sorts of things.
Technically speaking, the gorilla versus 100-man thing came from Black Twitter.
Did it?
Yeah, that's where that came
It's a
from.
very popular thing, and honestly, it's very funny if you're ever looking for good entertainment. Like,
Yes.
they honestly, somebody should just make a Black Twitter, like the app, and just market it as that.
Yes,
You know,
they should.
it'd be hilarious. So, yeah, I don't know what that means. I got to tell you, I'm actually somewhat like relieved that I canceled my pre-order because I'm tired. Like, I'm very happy not worrying about it. You know, like I'm just like whatever. Like, I'm no longer invested in this. So,
Yeah, you're
sucks
smart.
for the 8-Bit Dough people.
Oh, you just reminded me we're talking about tariffs. Hold on one second. I'm going to get it right now.
Okay.
2 seconds.
We're waiting for Delvin to go and show us his tariff. Not exactly sure what that's going to go. Let's see here. Yeah, BET, get on it. Yeah, that's basically it. It's BET of social media.
So, I want to say like a month or so ago, I ordered me some custom Nikes.
Mm-hmm.
They are Prince-inspired Purple Rain Nikes.
What is there like flowers on there? What's the flower that's on there?
That's the dove cry.
Got it. Okay.
Okay,
Got
and
it.
you see the
Makes
Prince symbol
sense.
right
There
there.
it is. There it is.
And then
Yeah.
you see the Prince, yeah.
What's my favorite color? So those are hot.
Yeah, and they just came in today, and I was worried because I messaged the seller, like, hey, you want to get these out before the tariffs come in? Because I don't want to be paying like extra money. And it just happened. As soon as I messaged them, they came in today.
I was worried about my my clock tower order for that same reason. I was close to canceling it because I was afraid they were going to come back and either delay it longer or try to charge more. And I was like, I'm not paying any more for that. I already paid enough for that thing.
They're real nice, Riley, but they're just customized. They have like print stuff on it. They're pretty cool.
Where do you get those made?
You can go to I got them off of eBay. eBay has a wide selection of it. Couple of sites you can go to and they'll do it for you, customized.
Jack
A lot of
would
places you
probably
go to.
like something like that.
Yeah.
Very cool. The PC Gaming Showcase is set for June 8th. So this June, and all the showcases line up. You're starting to get those announcements. We know Xbox is scheduled, so the PC Gaming Showcase will be back as well.
Yeah, this was the showcase we watched. I think it was last year we watched that.
Yeah, it's becoming better and better, and it's also becoming more and more like the fun one.
Yes.
Instead of the corporate, like product announcement one. Like they're showing really dumb funding games and stuff like that, which I appreciate. So it's always good to watch and just wish list a bunch of games and find some new things.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 4 Remake has become the fastest selling game in Resident Evil history, and now over 10 million copies sold.
That's great. It's kind of hard to believe that Resident Evil was like fastest selling games, only 10 million sold. It's a lot.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that is a lot. I bring it up on Shack a lot. In Nintendo Shack, we get really used to throwing around numbers like 20, 30, 50.
That's what I was going to get to.
But nobody else in the industry, signs like
numbers.
Rockstar, dances with numbers like that.
Yes.
There are the hits, right? There are the big ones that jump out. But for the most part, game to game, and people would kill. They would absolutely kill for Nintendo numbers.
Yes.
They
would kill for 10 million.
Yeah. 10 million is great.
That's
Until
like
it's
a
not.
huge hit. Yeah.
Right. I think they
That's
said
a huge
Spider-Man
hit for most
2,
studios.
they needed to sell more. But we are getting close to that. Yeah. And Resident Evil's had so many releases too. Think about all the games that have come out in that franchise.
A lot. And I think there's another one coming soon.
Short history. Yeah, me too. I definitely think we'll see Resident Evil before the year's done.
It's 9?
Yeah, it should be 9.
Yeah, wow.
Unless they're doing like a spin-off or something. It's not remake time, right? This should be the next game.
I think this is the actual next game.
Yeah, it should be the next game.
9.
I thought PlayStation would show it, but the more and more they go, I'm like, I don't know. Maybe it'll be a Summer Games Fest or something.
Yeah.
But I expect by the year's out, we'll see it.
I'm excited for it.
Flappy Bird has returned. After a decade of being off, the game returns as an Epic Game Store exclusive on the Android platform. So you can play Flappy Bird again.
Wow.
The people that brought it back are apparently like, I don't know, like some web devs that like get into crypto and stuff, and they've promised that the game will not feature any of that stuff in it. So,
okay,
that was a big part of everyone's articles.
That was the
promise they're going to leave Flappy Bird alone.
Everybody was playing Flappy Bird.
Yeah, I can't believe it's been that long.
Yeah,
makes sense. I saw today somebody hit me with a tweet. It's like, Pokemon Snap came out 4 years ago today. I was like, 4 years.
Yeah.
In my head, Pokemon Snap came out like last year.
I thought the same thing.
It's like, damn, 4 years ago.
4 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Riley says it's going to be a busy weekend. Switch 2, Summer Games Fest, Xbox Showcase, a Lil Wayne album, and a Nintendo Direct. Yeah, probably.
Lil Wayne looks good. He looks healthy. Hope the album's good.
Yeah, I don't like Lil Wayne at all.
I like some of his albums.
I said this once in the Discord, and it was either T or JV or somebody was like, Donnie, that's crazy talk. He's like the GOAT or something. I was like, really?
People love Lil Wayne.
Because he's not me. Like
People
I must be
Lil
the
Wayne.
opposite, because not only do I I'm not indifferent. Like I straight up do not like I've whatever songs that I think I know or have heard, I've hated. I just hate the sound. So
Yeah, I get it. I like Lil Wayne, but I wouldn't say I buy every album.
I remember that's what I remember now because when I brought it up, people are like, "Dude, he's like the greatest of all time." I was like, "No, he's not."
Absolutely not.
But that was said to me in the Discord. And I was like, "Well, I'll let y'all have it because no, I don't think so."
No.
I feel
I like
like
the Carter 3. Carter 3, I like.
100.
The first 3 Carters I like. I kind of like his rock album. It's so weird, but I kind of like it. And it's another album I like. Some of his old stuff I like. But yeah.
Dev's here. He says Lil Wayne sucks.
Well, I figured Dev wouldn't like Lil Wayne.
It's always being nice on that side of Dev. Like when he comes to your aid, it's like, he's there. I don't get that enough in life.
Yeah, sometimes you need it. Need that little Dev assist.
Yeah. Let's see here. What else do we have? Ubisoft has updated Far Cry 4. So remember we talked about Far Cry 4 came to Game Pass this month, and we're like, that's weird.
Yeah.
Well, it's because they updated Far Cry 4 with a 60 FPS patch on all consoles. Now you could play on 60 FPS on Xbox with FPS boost, which comes with trade-offs. This is native. So Xbox still gets the native patch. And they've also updated it to 4K resolutions. So you can play Far Cry 4 in 4K at 60 frames a second on your next-gen hardware.
Is 5 like that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
You could do that with 5. So I've tried playing Far Cry 4 on a numerous occasions. And like I've said forever, my long-standing point that I'll reiterate once again, I don't they didn't figure out I think the crafting inventory loop part of the game until 5.
Yeah.
Because there's a clear difference way that the game is slower. It's way more menus driven and everything when you play Far Cry 4 and back.
Yes, it is.
Because when I fell in love with Far Cry 5 so hard, I tried to go back, and I'm not saying they're not playable. I think Far Cry 3 I played the most. But Far Cry 4, my lasting memory is just how much inventory and menu the game it is.
Peg and menu.
It's so much more like that Ubisoft slop kind of style of game that people were talking about. So,
it's a good game. I like it though.
Having the radial wheels and being able to quickly change your inventory on the fly or loadouts that we got in Far Cry 6 makes playing the game so much more enjoyable than I think the Far Cry 3s and 4s do. But that's just my opinion. I'm by no means the Far Cry expert.
Yeah.
So, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle did not manage to crack the top 15 on most played PlayStation 5 games during its release week, even though it was the best-selling game of the week. So the best-selling game on the platform didn't crack the top played.
Because people just bought it out of spite.
That's how many people are playing those service games.
Yeah, they bought it and said, fuck you, Xbox, we own it now.
That's not it.
You tried to hold it away from us?
That's not it at all. What it is it paints a picture of how small a group, I would like to say we, probably our community, our listeners, fall into.
We're The Last of Us.
We really are. We are The Last of Us because the Fortnites and the Roblox and all that shit, that is the best-selling game on the platform didn't even crack the list. Didn't even make the list.
Because they're playing Fortnite. I think Fortnite got new characters. I think it got Cody Rhodes and Undertaker. I think that's who it was. Came in Fortnite this week.
I have no idea.
Yeah, because Delvin.
What is Dev going on about? Dev says you probably ain't got 10.
Oh, because they said we should do a top 10 hip-hop albums list of all time.
Oh, yeah, probably not. I would come up with 10 albums, but I'd have to look them up.
Yeah. Just to fuck with y'all, I would come up with 10 old-ass hip-hop albums that I know I don't like just to fuck with y'all. I'm like Curtis Blow.
I remember him. He's great.
The Fat Boys.
No idea. I'd have to get into my library. I've got a lot more rap music than that. And I have no idea if my 10 is considered good or not. Probably not.
It probably would be. I would think so.
We've got
tasty music.
We've got 6 or 8 rap albums on vinyl for Jack alone.
Yeah. Does Jack have any Lil Wayne?
You know, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think I've ever heard him listening to Lil Wayne.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Kids
I'll
love
have to
Lil
ask
Wayne.
him. I'll have to ask him. I'll ask him now.
Kids love Lil Wayne.
You know,
Kids
it's funny that you
love
bring
Trick.
him up. Let me tell you. Something's wrong with my computer. It's like running. It's like running slow.
Oh, well, I'm just looking at 3 screens right now like a boss. I still got scheduled one on one screen. The notes on the other.
Last week when we were doing the show, we were joking. Last week was pre-order, right? Was the pre-order show? Was it forever long? Was that last week?
Yes.
Okay.
That was last week.
So we joked about taking Jack and making him stand in the pre-order line.
Correct.
And I told him, I asked him, I was like, hey, will you go stand in line with me? I need you. And he was like, yeah. So he got up and went to school the next day, and I didn't care because I already got mine online. But that night, he came down and he goes, so when does the Switch come out? And I was like, June 5th. He was like, so why do I have to stand in line? I was like, no, I meant that like today. And it was just a very funny, like, this is how old you are moment. Because he looked at me with the most confused face
Like,
I think I've
what
ever
the
seen.
fuck
him.
are you talking
He
about?
was like, why are people lining up today if it doesn't come out until June 5th? And I was like, they're lining up to pre-order. He goes, who lines up to pre-order? I was like, that's literally how every consumer electronic that you have gets sold.
Yes.
And you could tell and then like as I was explaining it to him, like it went off in my head like a light bulb. I was like, this is he has no idea what a midnight release or a pre-order, because when we did the Switch, he was super young and we've gone to Pokemon events, but he's never seen people line up to order an iPhone or an iPad or an Xbox.
Don't they still do that though?
He has no idea what that is. Like it's not even like it's a foreign concept to his brain. Like I ruined his innocence by letting him know that people line up to order things that are still months out.
Yeah, they still do that for like shoes and shit.
It also made me feel dumb. For like, how dumb does it sound to somebody who has no idea what we're talking about? Like, yeah, we line up so we can buy stuff.
Yeah.
We wait outside stores for hours for the opportunity to buy some shit. That's ridiculous.
Shit, I wish Dev was here since you brought it up because, well, since he's in the chat, I can ask him. Dev, did you see the new Nikes that they're trying to shell out now that are literally old ass Nikes that you have to clean when you buy them?
What? Why would you have to clean them?
Because they're dirty Nikes. Yeah, they look dirty. It's like a style.
This can't be a real thing.
This is a real thing. They're called.
They're not
dirty
selling
Nike,
dirty shoes to people.
They're called Nike Air Force One Nike Air Force One Dirty Triple Whites. That's what they're called.
I don't even want to know. Like, I don't even want to go down this rabbit hole with you. That sounds so ridiculous.
I'm going to send you the link.
Like, I don't want the link. I don't want to know. This is the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
See, Damn says it's the real thing. It is terrible. Yes.
They're selling people dirty shoes and people want to buy that?
Yes. And they're like $150.
Do they want to clean them or do they want them dirty?
They want them dirty. And you can clean them. and when you clean them, they don't get like new clean. They get clean like when you clean old shoes.
Yeah, I quit caring now. Like you've lost me now. Now I'm done. I'm toasted. Yes. You need to take this up with Dev or something like when he comes to listen.
See, there you go, Dev.
We're not here.
They're supposed to actually fade over time and get cleaner.
I don't care. You're not even here. Why are you in the chat? You can't come podcast, but you can come chat in the pod. No, we're not doing that. Absolutely not. We're not doing that anymore. Also in the news, Nintendo dropped the Switch 2 firmware yesterday. So obviously Nintendo Shack will comb through like every nitty gritty detail about this.
Yeah, that's a Shack topic.
But I will tell you now, as I've said on Blue Sky and Discord, I like it a lot.
Yeah, I saw you posting about like, oh, looks pretty cool.
It helps me. Like, listen, I'm not managing a family plan. So all the people, there's a lot of people that are upset because on the old system, there was kind of like, I won't call it a loophole because Nintendo promoted it, but there was an occurrence with the primary, secondary consoles, and depending on which account was on which console, there was an occurrence where you could play the same game together or online together.
Yes.
So like you could buy one copy of say Mario or Pokemon, and you could both play it.
Me and Delvin's done that before.
It's a rare occurrence, and it's definitely not like the way it was intended, but Nintendo did promote it, or at least documented it, so I won't go so far saying it shouldn't have been there. People are very mad. That loophole's been closed. You just can't do that anymore. And there are people mad about it, and I support them. Go be mad at the internet.
Yeah.
But this, as somebody who's not managing Family Plan and does not care about lending games out to quote-unquote family members, what it's done for me is allowed me to manage my digital library across systems. I found out that there's a browser page, Delvin, so I can log into a browser on my computer, and I can see which games I have loaded on which system. And if I switch a game from one system to the other, it'll automatically trigger the download over there. I bought a game today, and it asked me where I wanted to download the game on which Switch, and I was like, this is ideal. I've been telling you forever that one of the things that I've hated about the Switch is when you upgrade systems, you do a system transfer, there's no easy way to like re-download the games that you're missing. All you had to do before yesterday is you had to go into the eShop, go into your downloaded title, you get one giant long alphabetical list.
Correct.
With this, on the Switch and on your browser, you can sort by purchase date, by install status, by which one's on which system. Like, you have a lot more control over that. So I love it. It's great.
It's great.
Dev says he's been doing this on the PS4 app. Yeah, Xbox works the same way. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Modern
not welcome
technology.
present day gaming. It's just welcome for Nintendo.
Yes.
But I very much enjoy it. So to me, it's a great update, even outside of the additional family stuff, which again we'll break down all of that into on Shaq. So in our rumor segment, Jez says that Xbox is working on 3 new controller prototypes or revisions. He says he hasn't reported on it yet because he's still working on sourcing, but he says, one of them at least is the Bluetooth cloud connection type thing where the controller can connect directly to your router so you can have less latency, kind of like the Stadia thing.
Oh.
He says another one is a revision to the standard controller overall, and then there's an Elite 3 coming, he says.
Okay.
What was the woe for?
No, connect to the router.
Yeah.
That sounds
Yeah.
pretty.
It's for
Sounds
cloud.
pretty cool.
It's for D-Life.
Oh, it's like-
He's going to be like, it's amazing.
Didn't know that was a thing.
Jack says Lil Wayne is cool, but he doesn't care for the music much, is what Jack said.
There you go. I think that's kind of the consensus on Lil Wayne. People like Lil Wayne's like an icon, like a culture icon. I don't know if people like his music though. Like he's a skateboarder and all this other shit.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking, like, what is he iconic for besides his music?
He's like just like people like connect with Lil Wayne for some reason. Like his
All right.
skateboarding, music, his fashion.
Okay, but is it like connect like real or connect like Flavor Flav?
Real. It's real.
Okay.
Also,
All right.
people like relate to him because he's had his problem with addiction and stuff like that and all that stuff.
Let's see. So Riley says, who does Jack like? Let me ask.
Good question.
Jack, what are your favorite rappers? There you go. We'll find out.
While we wait for the answer, I'll get to the
I have
Rude
no
Days
idea.
segment. So the Rude Days has no scoring update, but he says NBA playoffs still going on. So next week I'll have a scoring update and winner. But it's a question that must be asked that has social media pondering. 100 men versus 1 gorilla. Who wins?
The Gorilla.
Gorilla, get the fuck out of here.
It's actually very easy. I'm surprised that this has gotten so much talk.
I know people keep trying to 100 Brock Lesnar's, 100 Mike Tyson. No.
No.
It's a fucking gorilla.
We will literally rip them to pieces.
Yes.
And if anybody's never seen a gorilla attack or anything,
They're brutal.
You do not understand
Just like
the
the Lakers
sheer
in
power
trouble. You're in trouble when you fuck with a gorilla.
that these animals are capable of. Yeah, you'd be in a world of hurt.
What your little ass hands will do against a gorilla?
Yeah,
Like,
you would
it's not
probably
gonna hurt.
beat the hell out of 100 men using one of the men.
Yes.
You would grab one of the men and kill the rest of the men using him,
Yes.
and then save him for last. Like,
Gorilla be sitting there doing Mortal Kombat fatalities on people. What the fuck y'all talking about? It's not a thing.
Riley says the Lakers in trouble. I have no idea how the Lakers are doing. Like, what's their? Are they down? Like, what's the series at? I have no idea.
I think it's 3-1.
I mean, I picked the Timberwolves. I don't think the Lakers are particularly equipped for playoff basketball.
I'll look it up right now.
They're short.
3-1.
They're
3-1.
short 2 big men, like 2.5. Like they're missing 2.5 front court players. So I don't care how good Luke is. At some point, you need an actual team. It's a team game.
Yes.
You can't just roll out anybody and win. Like that's not how that works.
Well, they got LeBron James, so they should win.
But yeah, so did the Heat, right? And they lost a few times too. Like it takes more than that.
Lost quite often.
Every championship is won by role players.
Yes.
You need the stars to get there, but the role players are who decides who wins and loses.
Yes.
The stars
Very
are going
much
to give
so.
you. The stars are going to give you what the stars give you. It's who gets hot from the corner, who doesn't get injured, right? Who plays those great 15 defensive minutes. That's who decides the championship.
Yes, I agree.
So, short show.
We are already at the question segment. So
Yeah,
let's.
we're questions 1 hour into the show. It's going to be the shortest show we've had in years.
Nothing's happened. We talked about
and
it.
listen, chat, we asked all day. We don't have that many questions. So if you want us to stick around, you might want to send us some questions to answer.
Yeah, there you go. I'll try to read them slow. First question from fucking Kyle the Puck.
Fuck you, Kyle the Pug.
What draft grade would you give your NFL team after last weekend's NFL draft?
Now we can work. We can spend some time on this topic.
Well, I don't have an NFL team, so
You don't root for the Dolphins?
no. I don't root for any team anymore.
Oh. Jack says he likes Kendrick Lamar, Tyler the Creator. He put old Kanye.
Oh, he sounds like my son.
This is coming in as live. Tupac.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
He has good taste.
This is MF Doom.
Oh, he has really good taste.
Nas.
Yes. Jack's hanging out with the brothers.
Outcast.
Yes, he's hanging out with the blacks.
Dude, I told you. I sent you a picture of him at his birthday party.
Like literally, these are like the artists. These are like
He's the
real,
only white kid at his own birthday party.
these are like the real hip hop artists, like MF Doom, Nas.
I take no credit for this at all. And I'm not trying to like shout. I'm like, I let my kids find their own hobbies in music. Like,
I should be sitting Jack.
Do your own
for
thing.
What?
you know, like they pick up things for me, sure, but like I'm not like this is good music, this is bad music. I don't care. Like whatever you want to like.
MF Doom. Yeah. See, F said it. Jack is one of us, 100%.
So yeah, that's Jack's stuff. So he's all
That's
into
great
it.
taste.
All right, so obviously we can talk about my Browns. They drafted Shador.
Yeah, finally, somebody did it. That was a fucking shit show.
Yeah, no, that I actually agree with you. It's definitely a statement. It felt like it was being sent.
Yeah.
The Browns draft was a fucking mess. I mean, I don't even know how to say it any better. Like, I think there's people that are going to talk about how great it is because we got Shador in the 5th, but they drafted 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
You can only keep so many on the roster. So like it was hilarious because I was talking to somebody at work and I was thinking to myself like, there were people super pissed at the Browns when they didn't take Shador. Then there were people super pissed when they kept not taking him. Then there were people mad at him when they did take him finally. Now watch how angry everyone will be when they cut him. Like if he doesn't make the team, if he doesn't make the roster, because it's not guaranteed that he will.
Can they cut him?
Yes, they absolutely can.
Because I think that would look bad if they cut him. That would
Why?
look really bad.
Obviously,
wise.
there's a PR aspect that comes with him because he's so, I guess, famous, but I don't even know if that's the right word because it's not necessarily like earned, right? Like the point I'm trying to make is the fifth rounders get cut on every team. Every team cuts fifth round draft picks.
But the thing is, he wasn't listed. He wasn't supposed to go to fifth round. He was listed.
So that's the problem. The problem isn't that you can't cut him as a fifth rounder. The problem is expectation.
Correct.
The media drove him up to be expected to be better than he was drafted.
And I think that's the thing now. Once you get the fact that he went to the fifth round and it became so controversial, it became such a discussion like, oh, when people were like, yeah, this is not cool. This seems
I watched him. I watched a lot of I watched some of his game anyway because I'm a Nebraska fan. It's my second favorite team is Nebraska. Nebraska-Colorado rivalry is old. I always watch that game. So I've watched him for those games, and Colorado's had a few Big Ten games that I've watched. So I've watched him live, and then when the Browns had the pick, obviously I dove in. And, I shared my opinion on what I think of him, and it doesn't matter because the only thing that matters is what you do once you get picked.
Correct.
What you did to get picked goes out the window as soon as you get picked. All that is your starting salary. But everybody starts from the same place. They all start from zero. So it doesn't even matter. But for anybody that in honor of the Discord that wanted to know, because I used to scout football. It's actually something I used to do as a job. For 10 years, I scouted football for ESPN. I was doing the high school recruiting rankings and stuff and working with Tom Luganbill and stuff. This was actually a big part of my life before PSVG. And I like Shedeur. I think Shedeur is a really good fit with the Cleveland Browns coach who likes running a lot of timing-based throws off of bootlegs and stuff. I think Shedeur is a great fit. He throws people open. He throws to the right side of the receiver a lot. His ball placement is excellent. But he holds the ball a lot. And I don't think that'll serve him well in the NFL. And he's not a premier athlete at the position. He's not, in terms of his like foot speed and stuff, his escapability, it's not, it's average. It's not bad, but it's not above average. His arm strength is not above average. There's a lot of things that are just kind of average, like as a quarterback prospect.
Good, not great.
Yeah, like I ultimately, and this is like basically how I would always group quarterbacks. There's quarterbacks that you win because of, and there's quarterbacks you can win with. Shedeur's a quarterback you can win with, but you're not going to win because of him. Like he's not going to make you win. He needs help. He needs, good receivers, good running game, good defense, but like can he be a good quarterback? Absolutely. Is he better? Is he a top 50 player in the draft? Yes. Yeah. I think it was egregious that he slid as far as he did. I think he's a lot better than a lot of quarterbacks that were taken ahead of him.
I think that's the problem. Because he slid so far, the microscope is going to be on him and what teams do with him for that matter.
The Browns drafted a quarterback in the third round, I think 90 pick overall. They drafted Dylan Gabriel out of Oregon, who I do like, actually. I think he's also very good. But he's super short. He's like 5'10".
Ooh.
And the chances tell you that a 5'10", a quarterback that small usually don't make it. There are outliers that do, but it's becoming increasingly, they are few and far between. Yeah. So like,
quarterback at least.
I have no idea what the fuck the Browns are doing. They've got Joe Flacco, who they re-signed. The last time he played for us, they went to the playoffs. There's a lot of goodwill and fan support for him, but he's super old and throws a ton of picks, right? They traded for Kenny Pickett. They traded a 4th-round pick for Kenny Pickett, who was a number 1 pick. They brought him in. Deshaun Watson won't play because he's injured, but he's still on the roster, right? So he'll be around. And then they drafted Dylan Gabriel, the shortest quarterback in the draft. Like, they drafted him 3 rounds early. Like, he would have been in the 6th round for sure, but they just took him because they liked him. And I got no problem with that. People do that all the time. And then they drafted Shedeur. So there's 5 quarterbacks. There's only room for 3 of them, and I won't count Deshaun. So there's 4 quarterbacks, and there's only room for 3 of them. Like, I think you could perhaps put Dylan Gabriel in the practice squad, and maybe he wouldn't get claimed. But nobody's going to let you do that with Shedeur. They'll claim him. And if you cut him, somebody will sign him. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know what they did. They also they had the world's worst offense last year, and they started the draft with a defensive tackle and a linebacker. The fans were on their deathbeds until now. And the other thing is they're split. I've seen this all too well, so I know exactly how this is going to go. The Cleveland Browns as a franchise is so starved for a franchise star player at the quarterback position that the moment any quarterback plays and has a bad moment, they will be chanting for Shador to play.
Yes.
That's what happened with Johnny Manziel. People don't remember, but we had I forget his name at the moment, but we had a good Brian Hoyer. He had the Brown. We were winning. We were 6-2, and he had a bad game. And everybody wanted Johnny, so they put Johnny in, and the season went right in the crapper.
It was no, never mind.
Yeah,
I remember that because I was okay.
I don't know, the player that I saw on the field, Shador Sanders, looks like a player. He should be able to play, and because they drafted him, I think they owe it to themselves to figure that out before the next draft, to see if they need to draft another one, right? But the word around the draft circles and stuff is that in the in-team meetings when they got him on the board and stuff, he performed very poorly. So I don't know which one of those things will win out. The NFL isn't college. You've got to bring your A game. So I hope he's ready for it. At the very least, regardless of the slide and everything, I hope it's I hope he has a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, at the very
that's what
minimum,
you want to see as a fan. Prove them wrong.
This makes a great NFL story for the season. People don't be watching him.
Yeah, I think so. Now they did get 2 really good running backs, including Quinshon Judkins from my Buckeyes. So I think that kind of makes up for it for a lot of people from Ohio. They're just super happy to have Buckeyes to root for. Let's see here. Riley says, who starts week 1? Yeah, I think Flacco is going to be penciled in to start.
He definitely does. How old is Flacco now?
He's going to start until you lose because of him. Because the players that were there 2 years ago when they went to the playoffs, they're going to side with Joe. So Joe will get a chance to start. And then if he throws 4 picks in a game, then you'll move him out for somebody else.
40 years old. Wow.
Now, I will tell you, if Shador does come in and isn't in the playbook and isn't in first thing in the morning and isn't staying late and isn't getting extra reps, if he's not doing those things, they will cut him.
Yeah.
They're not going to keep him just to keep him, right? If he's not going to take it seriously, which has been what some of the speculation has been, is it doesn't sound like he took the draft process very seriously. If that's true, they will cut him. They'll cut him quickly. Because I can tell you that the other guy they took, Dylan Gabriel, is that dude. He may be 5'10", but he's every bit of that persona that you're looking for.
I imagine if Shador is not taking this seriously, we will hear about it.
You will know soon. Yeah,
we'll know real soon. They will let us know he's not taking it seriously.
Yeah, but as a fit, I actually thought before the draft, I thought the Browns were maybe the best fit for him based on his skill set. Because our offense, when running properly, is an offense that puts a premium on ball control and accuracy and short reads. Usually you get 1 or 2 routes and then you throw the ball away. Shador fits into that very well. So, I don't know.
All right. Free to play Joe asks, is this the end of physical games? Do you think this will hurt the industry in the future?
Is this the end? This time? Yeah, probably. I mean, if you zoom out a bit, I think this time has been coming a lot longer than now. This isn't a Switch 2 thing. I think even before the Switch 2, I think we were all thinking that maybe the next consoles probably don't come with disk drives. Maybe they offer an add-on, but eventually that'll phase out too. They're not going to keep that going. Steam ripped that Band-Aid off some time ago.
I think this is probably the end of physical games in the mainstream sense.
Yeah.
I think they'll probably always be around, but it'd be kind of like a thing okay, You want the physical edition, you got the special edition, physical edition, you got to go order it off some website.
Like the lowest common denominator.
Yes.
I do wonder, we might be getting close to that time where they start making products designed for us old people.
Yes.
So like physical games go away, but somebody makes a console for physical games and they just sell it to us.
Yeah. Retron
kind of like the Retron or like the Evercade. But you do that on on an actual, console like level. I could see something like that happening. I could see a company coming in and be like, we're going to make 1 million consoles for the people that care about this shit. And you get like a very catered selection of games. They probably control the eShop a bit more. So you don't have so much mobile stuff and stuff filling it up, right? They just focus it on like that console gaming demographic that grew up through the aughts.
Yeah. I think so. I personally don't want to see physical media in general go away. Like, I know it's happening, but as I look at like 4K Blu-rays and look at the places that are not selling those anymore, like, ooh.
Well, and not only do the places that don't sell them anymore, they are getting harder. I wouldn't say harder because you can buy them online, right? They're not.
You can buy them at Amazon.
What they just stopped selling them in the store. That's really all that happened. They still sell them online for the most part, but because of that happening, the prices I've noticed on those are going up.
Correct.
Yep. There's this limited supply, so the price goes up, and I could see that happening with games. I absolutely could see that happening with games.
Yeah, and my thing is with movies at least, Blu-rays are the best quality. Like streaming is not quite there, especially if you don't have good internet.
Yeah, but it's good enough.
It's good enough, but like
it's good enough that most people don't notice.
Yeah,
just like the game key card. Is good enough that most people won't know. They'll just buy it and plug it in the Switch and download the game and play it. They won't know, they won't know any different.
Yeah. I like physical media.
Me too, obviously. Me too.
But apparently,
dude, I was hoping to have it by now because I was going to show it to Dev. I've been buying those auctions and stuff on Whatnot, and I grabbed a couple cheap games. I don't even remember what they were. I grabbed a couple cheap games in an auction. I was sitting there. I grabbed one of those books that I was buying, one of those like card holders that hold the SD cards. There was a seller that had a cheap one of those, so I picked one up for $5. And then there was another game that ran cheap, so I was like, I'll grab that too. But he transferred into, they do like secret auctions where they put a bunch of stuff on the table. And like you bid for the number, and then they spin the wheel, and you get a random item from the lot.
That's cool.
So like you may hit big, you may not hit so great. Like I saw somebody buy like a $70 copy of like a $20 game. I was like, that sucks. Yeah. I also watched a person buy a $50 bid that ended up being like not that I care about this, but apparently it's very valuable. Like a 9 graded Breath of the Wild something. They're like, it's like a $400 game. So like he made out, I guess. I don't know. I think graded games are stupid, but they were excited about that. So anyway, I've never partook in any of these like gambling like games. I'm like, this is nonsense. I'm not going to do that. But I was watching. I was almost entertained, and I was enjoying the chat. It was fun. I was watching the table get smaller and smaller, and they get down to like the last 5 items. And the last 5 items, there was 1 bad thing and 4 good things.
Ooh.
And I was like, like I kind of want to. And also because he sold the guy in this auction, he sold like 100 things. So it took like an hour. Like I'm down to like the last 5 things. And the bids you would think the bids would go up based on the stuff that's left, but like I think eventually people just spend all the money they want to spend. The bids started to come down. So as he's got those last 4 items, I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a chance. Like, what's the most amount? It's like $20. I forget what the game was, but it was like a $20, $25 Switch game, and then like 4 collector's editions. And I was like, I'm going to take a chance at one of these collector's editions. I've got an 80% chance to knock this out. So I did a bid. The bid came up to, I think it was $34 is how high it climbed for that one. And I won Sifu Collector's Edition, which apparently is in like this gigantic box. Like it's worth it for the shipping. It's going to cost him more than I paid for the game. At least that's what he said. He was like, Jesus, this is going to cost more to ship to you than what I sold the game for. I laugh because I've never even thought to play Sifu, but apparently I have this giant box headed my way at some point
Of Sifu, yeah.
of
That's
Sifu.
awesome.
So yeah, I got the Sifu Collector's Edition. It was pretty fun. It's not gonna turn into something I do. I'm not gonna be throwing blind bait. I just thought the opportunity was there to, and it actually wasn't what I wanted. They had a what did they have? They had a Shantae. They had a collector's edition
I'm
Shantae.
looking at damn spam the chat. Keep saying send it his way.
You hungry, cuz? Let's see
man.
here. Ooh, Drew. Hey, what's up, Drew? Drew says, Donnie, all the Switch 2 key card stuff got to me. With my rewards programs taking my monthly 10% away, I think I'll go digital on Switch 2. I mean, I think you don't have to. Like, I'm not. I will buy as much physical media as Nintendo will let me. So as long as they keep printing their first-party games, I'll buy them.
Yeah.
And if people want to print them, like, I'll buy Cyberpunk. Like, I'm going to buy it while they let me buy it.
Me too.
But based on the way the key cards work and won't work when the servers go offline and everything, I will tell you that buying physically on Switch 2 feels like you're doing a disservice to yourself, because you won't have the convenience of the virtual card management system. You won't have the convenience of the game sharing and the family sharing. You also won't have the hope that in the future, because they eventually will, they're not going to keep the Switch platform forever. In the future, if they go back to CDs or they go digital only or they just make a different cartridge, if you buy digitally, you have the hope that your library will go with you. Doesn't mean it will, but you have the hope and the expectation that it will. If you buy a physical cartridge on Switch 2, if you buy, or let me rephrase, if you buy a game key cartridge on Switch 2, without a doubt, at some point in the future, that product you own will be worthless in your hand.
Correct.
We don't know when it'll be, but it will be worthless. Yeah. It will not be able to be used. It will only be a souvenir. It'll be a trinket of what used to be.
A weed plate.
Pretty much. And you would think that to do that, like, I would imagine if I wanted to do this, that I would come up with some sort of hook convenience to get you in, to bring you into this, but there's nothing. There's really just no benefit to the game key card at all. The benefit people are saying is that you could sell it. Well, that's only a benefit if everything was digital only. And I don't think it would be, right? Like, but maybe that's where they are. Maybe developers were like, listen, we just don't want to do cartridges. We just want to be digital only. It's possible.
It's possible.
Yeah, it's possible. It's not out of the question. But I get it. It's by far and away like my biggest bummer about the Switch 2. And it will change my buying habits as well. You're not alone, Drew. Yeah. I'm already planning for having multiple SD cards because I will always carry everything I buy. So my downloads, when I fill up a card, I'll just get another card. I'll keep downloading.
Makes sense.
So I would have imagined. So like in my head, what I'm thinking is they're like, we did the game key card because the cost of the card is getting too expensive. And so in my head, I'm like, why didn't you keep the original card? Like the Switch 1 card, right? That was cheaper to make. And instead, you put the game files on them and you just make people install the game when you give it to them, right? It doesn't play off the cartridge, right? But you install the game, just like a download, you install the game from the cartridge and then play the game on the system.
That would make more sense to me, at least.
Why not that? At the very least, if you're going to make a physical product, at least take the internet out of the equation. At least let me get the game from that. And they're not even doing that.
Yeah, you got to be online.
You have to be online. It's an online requirement. So it's like that's where I've been this whole time, I feel like. I've been saying it since this came up. Why not just make it digital then? Like in my head, it's like you're jumping through a lot of hoops that could just be solved by saying Switch 2 is a digital console. Just make it a digital console.
Yeah, but it's kind of, I guess, it's their reluctance to like get away from physical because physical did so well on Switch, which I probably
of course
they thought. So. This is kind of like the halfway, like the half foot in, half foot out. Like we're kind of getting away from it, but we really don't want to.
I really want to know. I want to go into the future and see like how all of this sounds like 2 years from now, 3 years from now. Like, does this really impact game sales like in a tangible way? When we look at game sales, will they seem, hundreds of thousands lighter than they used to be? Like, is that how important this is? Or is this like so super niche that nobody ever notices?
I think it's the latter.
Like, is it a drip in the ocean? It's just a drop?
Pretty much. I think we are the ones who are going to notice.
Because I'm starting to see more and more info about it. It felt for a minute there, up until Shaq this weekend, I was like, I can't believe nobody cares about this. And everybody I complained to says I don't care. Jace and Sean make fun of me for caring. Like, nobody cared. But then this week I'm starting to see more and more coverage about it. So it seems like it's bubbling up. And I am interested in knowing, like, how valuable are collectors to these companies?
That's a good question.
I think for the niche stuff, for the smaller publishers, the Marvelouses of the world, the Exceeds of the world and stuff, I think collectors matter a great deal to them.
I think they will have that stuff out there for those people.
You think in those super cases they'll just like we're getting now, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be the same thing. Like we're getting now, they'll have for those people, but everybody else.
What is it? Rune Factory. Rune Factory is that the one? I keep getting confused. Which one is on the cart? Which one isn't?
I think Rune Factory is the one on the card.
Like one of them is a game key card, and then the other one is actually on the thing. And there's a couple of them like that.
I'm trying to look it up right now.
No, Rune Factory is a game key card. Story of Seasons is on the cartridge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think there'll be a lot of
companies. I might be mixing that with something else.
I think a lot of companies will acquiesce and make carts for people. Depending, like I said, it depends on the developer and stuff like that. If they know the demand's there, they'll do it.
Bravely Default. Bravely Default is a game key card.
Ooh, I don't like that.
Is it Rune Factory? Rune Factory is a physical cartridge in the West.
Okay.
There it is. Yeah. I don't. Yeah, maybe it's beneficial to them. Maybe they'll double dip on sales more often.
Yeah.
They have the digital release early and a physical release later. Probably the most expensive version for the people that want to spend the most money.
Yeah, collector's editions.
Get
a cool box with it and stuff like that.
But then that means if you want physical collecting, that means now you're fighting like the limited run queues and stuff every time.
Yeah.
Like that alone, that inconvenience might make me I'm like, I'll just get it digitally.
Well, that's the price we pay for the things we want, unfortunately. I don't want to do it, but if it's something I really want, yeah, we have to do it.
Yeah, I'm not going to act like I'm so steadfast that I'm going to like draw a line in the sand and be like, I'm never going to buy. Like I bought hundreds of digital games. By this portal thing that Switch has, it looks like I have almost 600 digital game cards that I can transfer across systems. So like, of course I'm going to keep buying digital, but I won't be buying like the majority of my full price purchases are physical purchase, like 95%. It's very rare that I buy a day one game that's digital. I wait for sales. I wait for drops. More often than not. Sometimes I will. Like Madden, I'll probably buy day one digitally. But yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Madden's gonna be good.
I'm not gonna do that every year, but we haven't had it on Switch, so I'll probably buy the first one. Just like I did EA College Football. I'll buy the first one, and then, I usually upgrade my sports games like every other year, every 3 years or so.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, I don't know. I do think this is the beginning of the end for sure. I don't even know if we make it through this generation completely. Like, I'm still waiting for them to, like, watch the Game Key cards sell very well, and then Nintendo start doing their own games on Game Key cards. Then we're really cooked.
It's possible. It's very possible. I would probably say it's probably likely.
Yeah. Because what's going to happen is I'm going to keep buying all of my Nintendo games physically on cartridge. And then what's going to happen on like Switch 4, if I make it that long, then I just won't be able to play any of those games because they're not on my. I'll have to rebuy them digitally one day to replay them on new systems because I only have this old ass cart. But I'm gonna buy as much. I'm gonna buy as much as we still can.
All right. Our next question from Danny, not DeVito. Yeah, buddy, sure. He says, have you guys ever gotten hooked on a browser-based game? I remember loads of Flash games growing up, and they were really fun. And nowadays, GeoGuessr is endlessly addicting. I don't know what the fuck GeoGuessr is. Have you ever played these Flash games?
So I'm aware of them. I have like a working knowledge of them. I laugh because I asked how old Danny was. He said he was in his late 20s, and that made sense to me because I was like, this is definitely a younger person's thing. I was going to ask you and Dev if you guys ever did any of this.
You know, at first I was going to say no, but I do remember vaguely playing with my son the Cartoon Network Flash games they had. They had like games for like
Sure.
Teen Titans Go,
Yep.
Regular Show, The Adventures of Gumball. They were pretty fun. I won't say I got addicted to them, but I was playing them quite often. They're pretty fun games. They were like a Teen Titans fighting game that was pretty cool on there.
Yeah, I think this really started to bubble up like just behind me. Like coming up through schools, it seemed like the younger kids got into this more. I think me having kids helped because I think my kids maybe exposed me to some of this. Like I've definitely heard of like the big ones like Stick RPG and stuff. I started dabbling with this stuff like right when like Chromebooks got going. Like finding games that I could play on Chromebook, which a lot of times required like through the browser because the App Store wasn't on Chromebooks for a long time, for years and stuff. Like I started to find games because of that. But a lot of it was just like emulation. Just trying to like, find websites and stuff that I could run Super Nintendo games and stuff. And I don't think I ever played anything like any actual amount of time beyond like time wasting periods. Like I never like beat a game. I never played a game complete for that way. But I am very like it's a very influential time for gaming, all of those games. Because like I think it's easy to dismiss those. If we're talking about like core video game market, it's easy to dismiss those Flash games. And I do that as well because a lot of them just seemed like just boring, rehashes of like not as good type. It was like a million Mario clones, a million Angry Bird clones, a million Tower Defense clones, like it always seemed like something like that with like, the little Flash animation style. So it was really hard to find stuff that like really broke through, but there's been a lot of influence that's come out of that era of gaming, even into our market now. So like my lasting story about Flash games for anybody that didn't know is the Alien Hominid was a Flash game. So the Behemoth.
Oh yeah, it was. I remember
the
that.
Behemoth and Castle Crashers and like that.
Yeah.
It all comes out of there. I don't know if Angry Birds was a Flash game, but like I saw a billion of those games like Angry Birds. There was like the ones that I remember actually getting into. Well, one of them I actually tried playing, and the other one I just had bookmarked on my computer for a long time. Have you ever seen Super Smash Flash?
I do remember that. Delvin used to play that all the time.
Right, yeah. So like a lot of times when you were in school, it's like how you would like, you could go to a website and play something like that, in computer class or in the library or something. The one that I actually played that I actually think is good, and Nintendo should like try to release it one day or like try to get a hold of it. Have you ever played Mario 63?
No, I have not.
Mario 63 is legit amazing. Like it's very good and it's very fun to play, and it's like a legit Mario game with really great art style and really cool level design, cool mechanics. It has a lot of levels that pay homage to other games. So there's like Sunshine levels and 64 levels, and it's a 2D. It's honestly like somebody made like a Sunshine 64 Mario game in Mario Maker is kind of what Mario 63 is. It's pretty funny.
That sounds cool.
So like there's a lot of great stuff from that generation of games. So like I think it's cool that Danny brought it up. I think people younger than us, and I think my kids or something, I think they think of these Flash games kind of like maybe like we think of like Oregon Trail like some DOS shit and stuff that we grew up with, Pong,
Yes.
Pac-Man. But the one thing that is not so great, the thing that I remember about that Flash era more than anything was like the edgy shock culture games that would always come out of like that sphere. Like there would there'd be like a school shooting or 9/11 and somebody make a Flash game about it, and then it would get popular and get banned and get reported on. And I think it just kind of had like it did like that community, that that developer group, it did them a disservice.
Yeah, that became the story. I do remember that.
Yeah. There was a bunch of those. Like anytime anything happened,
Student shooter.
I'm sure there were like OJ stories, Bill Clinton games, like anything. There was a Flash game for it. There was always an attached Flash game to go with everything.
Yes.
That whole Newgrounds era.
Yeah, I remember that. Not great.
Yeah.
Speaking of great, this is a great question. TPR asks, what's your NBA all-time defensive team? Mine is Gary Payton, Scottie Pippen, Kawhi Leonard, Dennis Rodman, Ben Wallace.
Yeah, and Dev gave his too, and I think both lists are, I don't want to say wrong. I don't want to throw out all your lists, but they're missing a clear-cut choice. On both lists are missing, and that is Hakeem the Dream.
That
the
was
greatest
on my list.
Defensive player of all time.
That was on my list. That's my center.
And Hakeem, I know people will have, like Hakeem, one, was a monster just general as a player, both sides. But as a defensive specialist, I don't want to say doesn't get his due, because I definitely think a lot of people think he's the greatest defender player of all time. But it doesn't seem like he ever gets brought up like Ben Wallace gets brought up, or like Rodman, and listen, I love Rodman. Hakeem's a way better player than Rodman ever wanted to be.
Without question.
Yeah. We're talking about, I believe, if I remember correctly, and it's been a long time since I've checked numbers and stuff, but I believe Hakeem leads the NBA in all-time blocks.
I think so.
But that's not the impressive part. I mean, that is impressive. It's just impressive because there's been a lot of people blocking. We're talking about Mutombo and everybody, and Hakeem is number one. Here's the impressive part, because I used to use this stat all the time. If you guys can't tell, I happen to be a Hakeem stan. I used to have my boy back when I was doing fantasy basketball and stuff. He loved Shaq, loved the Lakers, hates the Spurs, right? So we used to always have these arguments. Greatest of all time, greatest teams, just like we're doing now. And I used to always stand hard for Hakeem, and he never understood why. And I always thought it's footwork, it's skill, it's shooting. Like, he had a complete game. He was the man.
Yes.
But not only does he lead the NBA all-time in blocks, I believe he's the only center in the top 20 all-time in steals.
That is also correct.
The only center, like in the whole top 20. It's like a bunch of guards and this dude. Like, that stands out in a major way. In the defensive,
he is that good.
Counting stats, he's a monster.
If people know Shaq and know how egotistical Shaq is, for Shaq to say, hey, I learned from playing against Hakeem how to be a better player. That tells you everything you need to know.
And a lot of players did. Like Kobe used to work out with Hakeem. A lot of people would do that. They would bring him in as a coach or something after he retired and help him work.
Fantastic player. He was my center. Yeah. I put him. I want to say Rodman, Gary Payton. This is where it gets hard. I want to say Jordan.
Yeah, I would absolutely say Jordan.
Jordan, because Jordan's that good. I think he's so good on offense, people forget how good he is on defense.
I think that's the thing with Hakeem. I think Hakeem's offensive game overshadows his defense. Like, his defense was elite.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, best of the best elite. His offense was just great. His defense was supreme.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Jordan. And I'll probably put like It's hard. Well, I'm gonna cheat. Tim Duncan.
You just have multiple bigs.
Yeah, Tim Duncan.
Duncan doesn't get his credit.
He's that good.
So I will go Hakeem, KG. I'll borrow Kawhi out of your list because I also think Kawhi is an excellent defender, especially in today's modern NBA. To be as handsy and accurate as you are, like he's very good. So Hakeem, KG, Kawhi, Jordan. Jordan's just his competitiveness alone just made him a monster on defense, and then you add the freak athleticism, and he was so strong as a guard. Like was he 6'5", 6'6"?
6'6".
Definitely guarded bigs all the time. You catch him in the paint, trading body blows with big dudes. He was super strong for a guard. Since everybody goes with Peyton, and he's deserving, so he's called the glove and everything. We all grew up on him. But since everybody's going with Peyton, I'll go with J-Kid.
That's a good one.
Excellent.
That's a great one, actually.
Yeah. My alternative for Jordan would be Moncrief or Tony Allen.
Those are both good ones.
But obviously not Jordan good. Those are different levels.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Our last question from That Ninja Dev. Yes. What is your biggest want for the future of gaming?
Almost wonder like, why is he asking?
That Ninja Dev.
I'm still amazed that we did that.
Yeah.
God, it's so funny.
It's great.
What is your biggest want from the future of gaming?
I want more game studios. More game
There's not
studios.
enough?
Yeah, more, especially particularly smaller game studios, more creativity, more people making games, more jobs in gaming. I think we need more. We need new blood. We need fresh people out there making games, new generations, giving us something different.
That's not up to them, though.
It is if it's a studio.
But the studio, well, okay, hang on.
Yeah.
I'm going to push back because this is our last question.
Yeah.
One, Ern says physical media for me. I'm not going to say that. Physical media, we've all known.
It's dead.
We've all known that it was coming.
Yeah.
I just thought we had more time.
Yes.
But I'm not going to be like, I need the future of gaming to give me physical media forever. Like, that's not something you can actually ask. But your point is fascinating because at different levels, I could see it or not see it.
Yeah.
Right. You're
That's
talking
why
about
I brought it up.
creativity, like at an indie level, sure. But either at an indie level or a AAA studio level, they're only as good as the people giving them money to do the projects, and they're the ones that decide what they're making, not the people making them.
Correct. And that's where the problem lies at, I think, with it. You have, I guess the proper thing probably be investors who want more, maybe. But that's a weird way to phrase that.
Or
okay,
a technological advance to the point where making a video game, the burden to make a video game, the bar is so low that anybody could do it. Like you don't need $100 million to do it.
I like that.
Like if you think about the application of something like AI, which I'm not a fan of and most people aren't, that's kind of the only way to bridge that gap.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And like something like AI could bring very technologically advanced skills to the layman and then all of a sudden unleash a wave of creativity that, otherwise couldn't be done because people didn't know how to code, people didn't know how to make music, people didn't know how to, make video games. So something like that could help, but we see what AI has done for art and images, and I'm not
too confident with it.
I'm not too optimistic about it. Like, boy, that's deep, and a lot, like in both directions, positive and negative. That could be a deep thought. Yeah. I don't know.
What are you thinking?
Yeah, I honestly don't know. Gaming feels like it's at a nearing like a turnover of a new leaf. More and more games are being funded and invested like that I feel like don't really appeal to me. and gaming is like changing. It definitely feels like it's getting younger. It's getting more ubiquitous, right? Like we're talking about models like streaming and Netflix and cloud and all
feels
of
like
that.
it's aging us out a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely feel like we're a smaller voice in the room. Like you definitely notice, like all of a sudden, like whoa,
Yeah.
where'd everybody go?
Like where are all the story-based games? Like you just want those.
And they're still being made. They're not being. It's no longer the meat and potatoes of the industry. You know,
not the clip it used to be made at.
and I don't want the future of games to deliver that to me, but like that's weird because kind of where my head is. It's just like I don't know what the future of gaming holds. Like I don't. Honestly, it's like I'm starting to wonder like wherever it goes, I'm not sure I'll be going with it. You know,
just think about this. We got the whole Uncharted trilogy and The Last of Us on like one console generation.
one console. Yeah.
One console. That's crazy if you think about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's
I very
not a thing
well.
anymore.
I could foresee a future where I don't know, gaming is cloud and service and microtransaction laden, and people are like rolling characters and stuff and like doing that whole thing. And I could see that future. I'm just playing Mario 64, offline, analog, doing my own thing.
Yeah, I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
You're just playing Super Nintendo games still
And there's nothing wrong with that.
PS5 games.
That's not good or bad for me. It just is. But the more and more of these projects that get greenlit, the more and more of these games they keep making, like the less and less interested I am even to like keep following it even more. Some of this stuff I'm not even paying attention to anymore. It's like I just know. It's like every time we have one of these showcases and stuff, I just know half of everything shown. Like
you're not gonna like.
It's not even that I don't like it. It's just indifferent.
Not for you. Like it's not
right.
for me.
Yeah.
I feel the same way.
Whereas before, I very much was, as Dev likes to call it, that buffet gamer. I was playing like everything. Now
I feel
I'm
the
like,
same way.
There's half of this stuff I don't even like, wouldn't even be interested in.
Yeah.
So
I feel the same way.
I think people feel, and vice versa. Like for everybody like me, like my son is there just eating up the next multiplayer Souls game, eating up once another Sea of Thieves, like can't get enough of it.
Fortnite, stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who are we getting this season? I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah. And I think what scares me a lot is like the it's always easier to talk about negatives than positive because there's a lot of positives that could come from the future of gaming. It would be cool to have like, I think there's a lot of hope. I put a lot of hope in like the future of like VR or AR technology, not because I want us all to have headsets, but like I think about like what like an iPod moment could be like for VR or AR for that matter.
I always think of like the remember Iron Man 1?
Of course, yes.
When he's
yeah,
putting
absolutely.
together the suit like that would be
yeah.
cool.
Yeah. And like we've seen demos and stuff and it's just a technology problem. The technology to do this requires so much hardware and so much bandwidth and electricity and direct current and stuff, right? You have to have this big fucking headset on your head and whatnot. But in the future, it could be as simple as a pair of glasses.
Yeah, streamline.
And a controller. Right. Like, and if something like that happens, I think applications for that could be major. It could be really, really powerful stuff.
Wasn't Google Glass supposed to be something like that?
They were working on like actual glasses, yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
And I do wonder, like, if you think of like what Oculus is trying to do with like, like entertainment, like sports, like they've got all these different camera angles and stuff. Have you seen the virtual reality sports bars?
No, I have not. I've seen the virtual reality concerts.
All right. So you've seen like the Dome in Vegas, right?
Yes.
So think of that on a much smaller scale. Like you walk into a bar and it's seated, like you sit at tables and stuff, just like you would at like you're at a table at a restaurant, like at a baseball stadium or something. And then next to you, like literally you reach out and touch, is this giant wrapping screen that has its own custom camera angles and stuff. It looks like you're at the park. It just looks like you're at the game. You're in the stadium, you're at the park, whatever the event is, it looks like you're there. The viewing angle and everything looks like if you were there for real, except you're at like this bar where you can get like a cheeseburger and a drink.
That is cool.
So I think of like those applications and you think of like where those bridges meet based on technology and like what that could do. What could that mean for not just video game, but for like displays in general? Maybe the TV goes away because all of our TVs are embedded in our glasses or a headset or something, or a visor that we put on, right? And that sounds crazy now, but guess what? Having a terabyte of songs on your phone and can play a game, that sounded crazy when I was growing up.
Yep.
You know, like, so like, I think there's a lot of hope for what the future could bring in terms of transcendent stuff.
There was a time when we thought that we were going to be walking around with CD players for the rest of our lives. And somebody like, here's an iPod.
Skipping.
Like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. The fear, though, as I've alluded to sometimes, I've seen how gaming is translating, like in China and Thailand and stuff. It's all becoming like very gambling paralleled.
Yes, it has, and I don't like that.
And that's what scares me, especially is the rise of gambling here in America. We see how open like everybody is to DraftKings and gambling, and then all the states are approving it. And I'm waiting for that next jump where we start getting more gambling type stuff into AAA games, modern games, consoles, things like that. Because right now it's all like mobile, but I think that's coming, particularly either so either like microtransactions or like cryptocurrency, like that blockchain stuff.
Oh yeah, I don't like that either.
That scares me a lot for the future of gaming.
Yeah, well,
so
only thing we can do is keep supporting the things we like. When we get the single player experiences, go buy the fuck out of them. When we get the games that we want, go support it, or they're gonna go away.
Yeah, yep.
The Breath of the Wild, the Tears of the Kingdoms.
I can't wait to play Breath of the Wild again.
That's gonna be fun.
You see in my pictures, like I got a case, I got a grip, I got a screen protector.
I saw that.
I got shit rolling in.
I didn't buy none of that shit.
I'm nesting.
I'm just gonna buy games. I got money just saved up to get these games, bro.
You've got tons of money.
Yeah, I got like $400.
How much did you trade in at GameStop? Like you pulled the receipt, but like how much trading credit did you get?
I think it was like $700 and something.
Did you buy your Switch out of that credit?
No.
Because you got your Switch at Walmart.
I bought my Switch at Walmart and Target.
Right. Okay.
I got one for Devin, one for me. So
what do you plan on doing with the credit?
Just buying games.
Just games?
Games and accessories. I bought a SD card. I bought Yakuza 0. I bought Cyberpunk.
Nice.
I'm going to keep buying some stuff, and I'll probably end up buying, because Delvin's Switch 2 doesn't have Mario Kart. It's just the basic one, so I'll end up buying his copy of Mario Kart so he can have it, and probably get some couple other things. And if I get lucky, I might end up buying another. If GameStop has it, I'll buy another Switch 2 and give it to my daughter.
Wow.
So
That's
I don't have to
awesome.
worry about it. Yeah.
That's awesome. Then you'll be doing the whole game sharing, card sharing, family plan.
Yeah, then I don't have to worry about it. Then
You'll
I'm
be
quite
all
sure
in.
she's probably going to want one, so just buy it then.
I think once all of my purchases are clear, I think I'll have about $100 left in GameStop credit to blow. And I think I'll be saving that for either Hot Shots Golf or probably Madden.
That's
Whenever
a good
Madden
idea.
comes to Switch, I'll probably just use that credit. So it's not even like I'm buying it. Right? It's just credit.
Yeah, I like that idea too.
Yeah.
Donkey Kong, I bought 2. I bought that one too.
Yeah, I already got Donkey Kong. For sure.
I'm excited.
I can't wait to play that game. That game seems different. You know,
That
fresh
week-
and different. Like I'm very excited for that.
That week the Switch 2 comes out, it's going to be insane.
I took it off.
I wish I could take it off.
Are you working?
Yes, I'm working.
You take days off.
No, not really.
I'm off. So the Switch comes out on a Thursday. I'm off that Thursday through the next Wednesday. So it's like a half a week.
Trying to think, is there any
That's not, I mean, it
holidays?
is a week. It's 5 days. But it's
I
spread
might be able
across the
to
weekend.
take a day off or 2 off around there.
So it's
I'll
too
see what I
short.
can do.
It's too short. It's 2 short weeks. I have 2 short weeks that week.
The problem is that it's around the beginning of the month. If it was
Yeah.
like if it was like around that middle of the month, like the 25th to 24th, I'd be straight. I could take a day off. Because there ain't nothing going around. Everybody done paid their rent.
That's my plan. The Friday, Thursday, Friday, I'm just playing Breath of the Wild. That's all I'm doing. Like, I'm going to have one really straight go with Breath of the Wild and before I start playing anything else. Then I'll
That's a
dabble
good
with Mario
idea.
Kart and stuff. But every year, that time of the year, we get the showcases, the summer games, so I kind of always take like an early June.
I think I'm going to go Cyberpunk first.
Yeah?
I want to see how it runs.
Well, of course. Yeah.
See, I think I might go in Night City and start a whole run on that.
Did you see they added motion controls?
I saw that.
You can play the katanas with a Joy-Con. Somewhere Dev was like rolling over in his grave. I'm playing with motion controls. I love it.
Oh, man.
You'd think Dev would love it. Get the katanas out. You talking about being all stealthy and shit? He's like, swipe, swipe, swipe.
He could be his own ninja.
Gotcha.
Ninja Dev.
Gotcha, bitch.
Yeah.
That's good. Nice. Drew says he's paying off his pre-orders tomorrow. Yeah.
Good job, Juby.
I wish I could, but they put holds on the stuff here, and in the meantime, toes are breaking, tires are breaking. Like, my money's gonna be gone by the time the damn thing gets around here.
I am sitting there watching my bank account like I can't touch this money. I can't.
Yeah, I'm trying to plan around it myself.
Yeah, like
one thing I did is I pulled my cubbies away from the wall, and I rewired 4K HDMI new cable into the space where the switch.
Oh, that's good.
Because I didn't want to wait for the system to get here and then have to redo all the wiring. So I was like, I'll just go ahead and get this out of the way now. So when the switch gets here, I just plug in the new dock and keep it moving.
Smart. I probably should do the same thing.
Yeah. So if anybody out there, if you've got your old switch cable and stuff, it'll still work, but not as good. You need the cable either that comes with the Switch 2 or you need an HDMI 2.1 cable.
Yeah.
I actually don't even think you need 2.1. I don't think the dock does 2.1. I think the dock does 2.0, but 2.1 cable is the one you want. Get the new cable, put it in there.
Keep it moving.
Keep it moving. Or wait for the Nintendo. Like if you're kicking old school, like TV is right there and I'm sitting this right next to it, then you just use the one that comes with. But mine was all wired and connected together with all the other wires and everything behind my cubby. So like when I tell you I swapped it, I'm telling you it was a task. It took me like 2 hours to do all that. Because I had to cut it. Well, one, I had to pull everything away, which means everything that's on top of the cubbies all had to come off. Anything that could fall down in the cubbies had to come out. I had to pull them away. I had to trace the wires. I had to unclip it or uncut it from it being connected to all the other ones, funnel it out and put a new one in and put everything back. It was a whole thing. It was a whole ordeal. Now, I realize most people just have a TV sitting on a dresser or something. It'd been a lot easier in that circumstance.
I have mine on the wall, so.
But if you have it on the wall and you run cables through the wall or something, you might want to think about it.
Process, yeah.
Yeah, you might want to get on that before the Switch 2 comes. Or otherwise, you're going to be like, oh, shit, I got to do all this work. So.
I'm not running that shit through the wall. I do, like you said the other week, put the little things up that you buy at Target. Absolutely.
You're going to be one of those pictures we see on Twitter where it's just TV with like 8,000 cables coming off the side of it and whatnot.
Yes, pretty much.
Oh, God. We believe in cable management here, Delvin.
Somewhat. All right, we made it.
We did it.
Look, it's not too short. It's almost 2 hours. I think we survived.
Yeah, we almost did 2 hours.
Yeah, y'all got some content.
For a minute there, I thought we were going to do 46 minutes.
It's not the 4-hour extravaganza of last week, but, you know.
And we deserve a break.
Yeah, we can go eat now.
Yeah. And it's not even late. It's 8:30. Still got the night ahead of us.
Yeah. Go play some video games, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably not.
All right, we're out of here.
Peace.
Nobody's sleeping in the middle of the bed. The middle of the bed is only where you do the business. But when everybody's ready to sleep, it's the side of the bed that can't be beat. It's the middle of the bed where lovers meet. But when it comes time to slumber, it's the edges. Ooh, 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 the edges.